Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bricia Mayombo, a lifestyle and mindset coach, a CEO of Burn for a Purpose, and I have a mission to help you recreate the harmony missing within yourself. Harmony that might have been broken, or really the energy might have been dropped due to some trauma. So I specialize in trauma. So today I come again live, just directly from your house, from my house to yours, to tell you and share the best gift that my mom ever gave me. When I was a child, just growing up, my mom was always talking about that gift. Anytime she would travel, she would always come back with that gift. And what is that gift? It's a book. She taught me, in a young age to love to read. At that time, it was a little frustrating, remember, because most kids of my age will be playing with dolls and will be doing stuff. And my mom would always tell me, Bricia, you know what? The mind is the worst thing to waste. So never spend your time just wandering around. Your mind needs always to be focused on something. So you have to make sure that you are always occupied, like you are always focused on something that is nurturing your mind. Otherwise, you'll be bored, and then at the end of the day, you'll be asking, how did I do my work? And then how did I end up my day? What did I do during the day? And the gift she always bring me every time she come back would be a book. A nice book would be like a conte de fées, like it's the Grimm's brothers that you have here in English. Any kind of book, and I was always looking forward to a new book. I knew the smell of a good book. I had the image of that new book. I wasn't looking even that much for a nice dress, that I was looking for another book to add in my library. So it was something that she taught me since I was a young girl. And it wasn't something that of course, like any young girl would say that you being easy to acquire, because it's not something like everybody wants to do, just be sitting around and read. But as I grew up, the more I was reading, and I was seeing that I had acquired vocab that the majority of kids from my generation never had. And I was kind of viewed that when I was like 12 or 10, be like, are you really the age that you're saying? Because the way you're speaking doesn't align with your age, because my age mate will be still talking about cartoons and stuff. I love cartoon, I will watch cartoon, but my vocab will be so condensed, will be so precise. I remember reading, I was like probably 12 or 13, reading a book about Dalai Lama, and I just remember that book because it's something that really stayed in my mind, and I loved it. And I discovered like many facts about Dalai Lama. That was really something that I shaped in my mind. And the more I would read, the better I would get, and then the clarity in my mind, more only like the vocab I was adding, the more words that I could express myself, and I was just being at ease. When I would be feeling frustrating, anything the things will not go the way I wanted, I would just go and grab my book. Whenever that I didn't want to be watching TV like everybody, I would go and grab my book. Whenever that I would feel like hungry or something like that, I would just go read my book. So my book has become like a best friend for me. The book had helped me really to shape my mind around the situation. My book has become like a great companion. Okay, where a lot of people will be sitting around like watching TV and they distracting. My mom taught me how to read. My mom taught me how to really shift my mind away from a situation, because I'll be so focused on the book that I'll be like, forgetting about whatever was happening. And I do remember, back in the days where I will have like a book, I don't know how many pages, and I will not go to sleep until I have finished reading that book. That's how intense I was in the book. That's how interesting I was, and I was just captivated. And the more I read, the more I wanted to end up the story. When the story was so captivating, was so interesting, I would not want to go to bed, until I have finished that book, because I was like, oh my god, I was so excited, and I would stay up like really late just to finish reading my book. And it will go on and so far. And that just reminded me, when other people will use their allowances to go and buy, I don't know, new shoes or buy like candies and stuff, I will gift myself another book, because for me it was a great pleasure to be adding more books to the more books that I had. And that just reminded me that back in the days back home, we had such a huge library. If that, and she would always say that even if I don't leave you money, I don't leave you anything, but at least the library. And I didn't know at the time the importance of the library. My mom had library, and we had books from everything from cooking book. That's how I like learned a lot of chicken recipe on cooking, a reading book, beauty books. I mean, all those books, name them. We had all of them. When you end up, the first thing when you enter our house, the first image in front as soon as you walk in will be that huge gigantic bookshelf, and we have all kind of books from coming from all different culture, and different horizon about different subjects. I remember reading about books about laws and stuff I didn't even know. And later on, when I decided to try that at university back home, I mean, that was a little thing. So I could read about the jurisprudence even before I was even studying law. So all of that being surrounded by books, I really shift my mind. I really captivated, that energy. So when other people were spending their time will do mistakes and doing stupid stuff that later on they will regret, I was always focused because she told me from day one that the mind is something that it shouldn't be wasted. So it became, the more I was growing up, the more books I wanted to read. So I would just library, just go. I remember I had a membership to the library, to the local, which was something that wasn't given to everybody because it was kind of rare. But I had to make sure, and I had an appointment. She would drive me there. I would make sure I have my hour reading. I'll have make sure. It's just that opened up a lot of the horizon for me, and I was able to get in connection with so many people. By the time I would graduate and go to like high school and go to university, I will have known the majority of the books that we will be reading because I was already in contact with them prior for us, writing, for example, the high school, exam, and that require memorization, that require a lot of things. But me already having that mind already, my mind was already molded into being used to read over and over, and that thing I really facilitated for me to learn. I mean, the language learning, because my mind was always like hairy. My mind was always like wondering. My mind was always asking for more and more. And the more I was learning, the more I was reading, the more books I wanted. So I was really curious. Because one of the advantage also of being to have that awareness, that mind, opening mind, is just the ability to really think differently. So I will have solution, or I will have answers to some question in discussion in class that the majority of my classmates wouldn't even know, because all they had was just the little limitation from the book. But I had like all the novels that I read. I had like articles that I read. I had like magazine that I had, international magazine I was reading, that a lot of kids from my age weren't reading. So that was the best gift ever. And she would told me never leave the house without having a book in your back, So that was 20 years or 30 years almost from now. That has been the best gift ever, because she taught on me. She introduced me to the book reading addict that I'm right now. I'm like, all I do, I used to be excited of receiving shipping, clothes shipping, but now I am excited anytime I'm expecting like a shipping from books that I've just ordered. So that's how excited. That's how the gift that she has given me, that has kept me so motivated, that has kept me and saved me from a lot of trouble, that has kept my mind focused. And the more I read it, that's what I'm teaching my children today, like the pleasure of reading. And I know it's kind of a battle for adults right now, but hey, it is what it is. The more you read, and that's the Bible is saying us, you learn, knowledge is the key. Acquire all the knowledge, acquire all the understanding with everything that you have, which you possess. And that's what it is. And that's the little episode that happened, I've been just blessed. And that has helped me a lot. And the fact that she was saying that make sure that you always carry a book has saved me so many times. Lately that I was going to have my car, fixed at the garage. And of course, I wasn't planning for the session to be long. I was just going to have a little check and thing. I was like, maybe like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I ended up staying at the garage for almost 2 to 3 hours. And guess what? I had my book in my bag. Thank God. I would have been bored. So what did I do? You already guess. I took a nice book that I had that I could not finish, ahead of time in the thing that was in my plan of finishing. I just sat down, relaxed, and started reading, taking my time. Like the mechanic will be doing his work, I'll be doing my work or reading. That was one of the amazing, evening I spent. I did not waste my time wandering around, like scrolling on the social media like a lot of people would do. I use my time efficiently. So I was able to finish that book. I was able to do whatever I could do. I had my book finished. By the time I noticed, I didn't even know that the time was going, but 2 hours, 3 hours has passed. Can you believe that? Just with the pleasure of reading. And that's what a gift that you can give to your kids today. I know that it's kind of hard for have that new generation, but it starts from when you were. If you're pregnant one now, take the habit of reading every single day to yourself, to your baby that's in the womb. Okay, you and your partner can share the reading. If you have a lot of kids, the kids doesn't have to be speaking yet, but you need to start having that habit of the kids reading. It doesn't matter how little you do, but the more you do, before you know, that kids will have the habit, will have the pleasure to read. We need to acquire more knowledge. And the knowledge is not, the TV is good, but the TV can never replace a good book. So I want to share that gift. That was the best gift ever that my mom taught me. I hope that, that will inspire you. You know, another trick also, now you have PDF and we have all those media, ebooks. It's really good, but nothing can ever replace the book, like the hard copy book that you're holding. I remember my philosophy teacher used to say, there's nothing as amazing that the smell of a good book, of an old book. So I'm inviting you this week to really try that challenge. I am challenging you. If you never like to read, I'm challenging you. Try to keep in your backpack, in your bag, in your purse. Instead of, especially as women, we have like all tons of stuff that we're doing. But I'm challenging you this week and starting this week to always carry a nice book, a nice magazine, a magazine that can add value to your life. Okay? So that was Bricia Mayombo, your lifestyle and mindset coach. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Stay blessed. And don't forget, you were born for a purpose. You are here for a reason, so never compare your life to anybody. Until I see you again, stay blessed. Bye-bye.